Hi, welcome back to Godly Storytime. I'm Miss Gayle with All Saints and have a new story for you today. It's called The Mitten, and it is adapted from a Ukrainian folk tale and is illustrated by the same person, Jan Brett. And these are just wonderful pictures. I know you're going to love them because it's all about fun animals that live in the forest and about a little boy who's so busy playing, he's really not even aware of what's going on around him. I wonder if we could be like that sometimes. Let's see what you think about this story. Then we can talk about it afterwards, okay? And see why you think I might be reading you this story as part of Godly Storytime. So, get ready. Get your listening ears on, snuggle up, get comfortable, because coming at you is The Mitten. Once there was a boy named Nicky who wanted his new mittens made from wool as white as snow. At first, his grandmother, Baba, didn't want to knit him white mittens. "If you drop one in the snow," she warned, "you'll never find it." But Nicky wanted snow white mittens, and finally, Baba made them. And after she finished, she said, "When you come home, first I will look to see if you are safe and sound, but then I will look to see if you have your snow white mittens." So off Nicky went, and it wasn't long before one of his new mittens dropped in the snow and was left behind. He looks like he was pretty busy playing, wasn't he? Well, a mole, tired from tunneling along, discovered the mitten and he burrowed inside. It was cozy and warm and just the right size, so he decided to stay. Well, that's kind of funny. Well, then a snowshoe rabbit came hopping by, and he stopped for a moment to admire his winter coat. And it was then that he saw the mitten, and he wiggled in feet first. The mole didn't think there was really room for both of them, but when he saw the rabbit's big kickers, he moved over. Ooh, looks like they're having a snuggle fest too. Next, a hedgehog came snuffling along. And having spent the day looking under wet leaves for things to eat, he decided to move into the mitten and warm himself. Well, the mole and the rabbit were bumped and jostled, but not being one to argue with someone covered with prickles, they made room. I don't think I would argue with a hedgehog either. And as soon as the hedgehog disappeared into the mitten, a big owl, attracted by the commotion, swooped down. When he decided to move in also, the mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, they all grumbled. But when they saw the owl's glinty talons, they quickly let him in too. How is this possible? Up through the snow appeared a badger. He eyed the mitten and began to climb in. The mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, and the owl were not pleased. There was no room left, but when they saw his diggers, they gave him room. He moved into the thumb. Well, then it started snowing, but the animals, they were snug in the mitten. And a waft of warm steam rose in the air, and a fox trotting along stopped by to investigate. Just the sight of the cozy mitten made him feel drowsy, and the fox poked his muzzle in when the mole, the rabbit, the hedgehog, the owl, and the badger saw his shiny teeth. They gave that fox lots of room. Maybe it's a magic mitten. What do you think? Then a great bear lumbered by. He spied the mitten, all plumped up. Not being one to be left out in the cold, he began to nose his way in. The animals were packed in as tightly as could be, but what animal's going to argue with a bear? The mitten swelled and stretched. It was pulled and it was bulged to many times its original size, but Baba's good knitting held fast. And then along came a meadow mouse, no bigger than an acorn. She wiggled into the one space left and made herself comfortable on top of the great bear's nose. Oh my goodness, the smallest one on top of the biggest one. Well, the bear, tickled by the mouse's whiskers, gave an enormous sneeze. Achoo! And the force of the sneeze shot the mitten up into the sky and scattered the animals in all directions. Look at them flying. Oh my goodness. Well, Nicky was finally on his way home at this point, and he saw this white shape off in the distance. It was the lost mitten silhouetted against the blue sky. Oh my goodness, what a lucky little boy. As he ran to catch his snow white mitten, he saw Baba's face in the window. First, she looked to see that he was safe and sound, and then she saw that he still had his new mittens. She thought. That's a fun story, isn't it? But why are we talking about this in Godly Storytime? Can you think of any lessons that we may learn from these animals? Or maybe from Nicky? Or maybe from Baba? Who has something to teach us, you think? Have you ever lost anything? You know, like a favorite toy, or goodness sakes, think of all the socks that we can't find sometimes, right? I wonder if they have wonderful adventures as well. I wonder if lost socks go on adventures like this mitten. Just think what might be wiggling in and out of our lost socks when we don't know what's going on. It could be a whole world of fun happening right beneath our nose and out of our sight. Guess it goes to show you how important it is to pay attention to what's going on, right? Lots of things are happening all around us, and we just get focused in on what we're interested in, and we don't even pay attention to the many wonderful, beautiful things that are happening all around us. Maybe that's something you could do today. Maybe go for a walk. I call them God walks. When you go around and try to see God in all the world, see all the beauty, all the wonder, all the diversity, so many things to see and experience too. And maybe there's a lesson about when we think there's not enough room or just not enough of anything. Don't we think that sometimes? We don't want to share because there's not enough. But somehow, maybe there's something about that mitten made by his Baba. The grandmother, when she was knitting that mitten, was like knitting her love right into it, wasn't she? Because she made it with love for her beloved grandchild. I think maybe her love had something to do with it being so stretchy and so able to fit in all of those animals that wanted to snuggle up and enjoy that cozy softness inside. Maybe we need to remember that too, that oftentimes it doesn't seem like there's enough of the things we're asked to share. But maybe if we put more love into it, there'll be enough for everybody. I think that's what love's all about. There's always enough for everybody. There's always enough to share. And God is the source of all love. And you'll just get more. The more you give, the more you get. It's hard to understand sometimes, but it's a beautiful thing to experience. So give some love away today. Give away love with smiles and kindness and laughter, with hugs, hand holding, and helping. Don't forget about helping. That's a great way to show love. So find your way to explore what love is about. Find your way to learn more about sharing, about how you can fill your world, your mittens, with love. And use those eyes to stop, watch, and listen, just like we were taught during Advent, right? Look and see where God's love is showing up in the world all around you, all the time. So enjoy your feast, remember your prayers, and never, never forget how much you are loved, filled with love, surrounded with love, now and always. I'll see you next time. Peace.